Yo, we're live. Welcome to the Diren Kartal show.
We are live.
And we're live.
It's time.
Hey, today we have Mr. Paul Mort, the godfather of mental health. One of my mentors, someone that's actually helped me out a lot in the last few years. Someone that's an unbelievable speaker.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Someone that has amazing presence in the flesh.
Thank you, sir.
Someone that makes an impact all over the world.
Jesus, my balls are tingling right now.
Someone that carries Louis V bags, unbelievable glasses, night trainers, tracky D's all day long. Let's give it up for Mr. Paul Mort.
I feel like we should have one of those round of applause buttons.
Don't worry, I'll add that into the
Hey,
edit.
bro, do you know what I was thinking? Me and you have done 3 podcasts,
Yeah.
but we've never done your podcast in person.
No, we haven't. Yeah, this
did
is the
it on
first
Zoom,
time.
innit?
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. The first one we did, I think it was when COVID hit.
Yeah.
It was in lockdown,
On
right?
yours, we did one. We've done one. Actually, we did 2 of that other place, innit?
Yeah, I was on your ones for the
Yeah.
both ones. And I know
Yeah.
you filled me in because someone didn't turn up. You just rang me, innit?
I had a spare hour. Doing a booty call.
Who's free? The booty call then will come through. Yeah, I'm up for a podcast all the
There you
time.
go,
man.
huh?
You know what? When I started that podcast during lockdown, I was in my tiny room in Wandsworth, and I actually the setup was I attached the mic to my clothes rack and I bought a beanbag and I was recording from there, making sure all my roommates were shutting the fuck up every time I was recording.
That's mad.
I know.
Dude, I used to do a podcast on my phone.
I remember
I used
that.
to walk on my phone, record it in my headphones, done.
Yeah.
And then I spent big money on a studio and I've hardly used it. There you go.
Why not?
Trying to get people to South Shields is quite challenging.
What about for the people that don't know where South Shields is? I mean, there's lots of people that listen to
South
my
Shields is right in between Newcastle and Sunderland.
Yeah.
It's where the Great North Run, one of the biggest half marathons in the world, finishes. It's where I'm probably the most famous person from there before like Jade from Little Mix, Chris Ramsey, Rosie Ramsey, Joe McElderry that won the X Factor from South Shields.
I've never heard of any of them.
Shut up, my dickhead.
I only know Paul Mort.
There you go. South Shields' most famous export.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
you love it. You said you don't want to move from there.
Dude, I love it there. Well, let's flash back to like 2012 when I hated living there. That's why I moved to Marbella, innit?
Why?
I bought into this whole... But here's the thing. Then I was very sad. Like, I was sad. I'd followed the whole... Cut all the toxic people out of your life. Only, like, don't surround yourself with negative people and that. And guess I was left with, like, literally just me.
Really?
So I didn't understand people then. But really, I was one of those people. And you all met people like this and you're like, oh, I just hate people. The reality was I hated myself. So yeah, I hated it when I left South Shields and then I moved back and I don't think I'd ever move again.
What did you hate about yourself?
I was a liar. I didn't like what was looking back at me in the mirror, both physically, mentally and emotionally. I had no purpose or direction because I'd made it, right?
Yeah.
I just stopped.
What was making it at that point? Was it...
So business-wise, I was doing the
Business-wise.
marketing muscle thing,
Okay,
the lean
yeah.
greens thing.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of withdrawn from the world. I'd bought into that 4-hour work week thing as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love that book. It's incredible. But
Yeah.
I was living this kind of laptop lifestyle, but I was just living behind the laptop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
it was like going in, do you know when you did that mad quarantine shit?
Yeah, yeah.
I just became like that for about 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, like I hid from the world for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that
Yeah.
time, you had the family? You had the family?
Yeah, I had it. So Max was born in 2012. Nina was born in, Max was born in 20. Fuck this up.
Careful.
Max
listening.
Max will be listening. He loves it. You know, he's 10 years old and loves a podcast. No, he was born in 2011. Nina was born in 2013. So yeah, I was a dad then. Yeah.
What was it like having a baby and hating yourself at the same time?
Do you know what's mad? I can't remember.
Is it because you don't want to remember? Or is
I was
it...
off my tits.
Really?
I was off my lips, yeah. So I was
Proper?
drinking, sniffing through the day. So I'd be doing, I'd be recording like webinars and I'd be writing newsletters and shit and I'd be having a line in between
Really?
breaks and shit. Oh yeah, dude, it was bad.
What, to like up you before a
Just to
call?
up me, yeah, and then I got put on meds and the meds that I was on fucked me up a little bit. Like honestly, that time in my life, I can't remember that much about. Like,
Really?
I remember doing a podcast with my friend Chris Brown, and he was like, remember when we did this? I've known him a long time. He said, remember when we did this? I'm like, I did that. I said that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know when we were talking about that Gary Vee podcast that I did? They're like, what was he like? And I'm like, I can't remember.
Do you think there's a part of your brain that's forcing yourself not to remember because you're in a good place right now?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you wanted to like look within that, because there's been things about myself that I've kind of wanted to block out because maybe I didn't want to deal with them. Do you think going back and dealing with them is the right way to move forward?
I don't know, sometimes I think there's a skill. Everyone's like, oh, forget about your past and that. But actually we think about this, the traits that I love the most about myself, the things that I like the most about myself were all forged and developed through those hard times. Yeah. You know what I mean? The reason I love being around people so much now, and the reason I'm always looking to connect with people and go to group things, I would never train in the gym on my own, ever. I just don't enjoy it, but I love being around people. Yeah. So I think that's came from the fact that I hated being around people for so long. Like now I feel like I'm trying to fill a little bit of a void. So the things that I love about myself the most, the resilience that I've got, I was just thinking there, this time last year, I did that David Goggins challenge with no training. 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours with a 20 kilo backpack and a torn pec.
Fuck that shit.
And a torn pec. I hadn't even had a surgery. So I'm like, but I wouldn't have been able to do that unless I'd been through all that difficulty. So I actually think measuring backwards can be very useful if you do it skillfully.
Fair enough, yeah.
You know what I mean? Skillfully, looking for lessons rather than looking for what you did well rather than looking at the shit you did wrong all the time.
Like, at the same time, not worrying about what you did or what happened, but learning from them.
I don't regret a thing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like even the bad shit that I did, I know that everything that I did, well, you know this, mate, everything that we did led us here.
Yeah.
I can apologize for it, but I'm not going to beat myself up for it because you got to consider at the time, in our past, we were doing the best we could with what we knew.
What you knew, yeah.
And now we know better, but we didn't then.
Exactly. And that's why you know better.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because you went through that, right?
Yeah, the only regrets that I ever have are like, I wish I'd started things sooner. Like, I wish I'd started JIT sooner, I bet you do.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? I wish I didn't wait until I was fucking 39 or 38 or whatever.
I wish I stopped playing football sooner so I could do this. Yeah. I wish someone pulled me aside and said, Diren, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I wish I started Instagram sooner. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I hope I'm not saying about TikTok in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking dances on TikTok and shit.
TikTok's a weird one though, innit? I do some, like, I don't know, the other day, do you see me do that weird banana thing with my mouth? Yeah. Yeah, I put that on TikTok and that's got like over 100,000 views.
It's weird,
stupid things like that.
It is weird.
That bang on TikTok. Yeah. But again, it's another way of kind of engaging.
Yeah, it is. But my daughter's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she allowed to be on there?
She is. She's had 2 accounts banned.
Really?
Dude, I caught her trying to buy followers the other day.
What?
I was like, what's this charge on my card from TikTok? I was like, did you try and buy followers? She's like, yeah. I was like, don't do that, man.
Question for you. Do you reckon your son or your daughter is going to have pressure growing up from your lifestyle, who you are, and how people look at you?
It's a good question, that.
I'm a good podcaster.
Some would say world class. I don't know, maybe I know the teachers follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
But they're good kids, so...
They are good kids.
Do you know what I mean? They're so
they
different.
both have that spark.
They're so different. They're so different to each other. And actually, she'll be listening. One of Nina's old teachers, she said, I got asked a question about being a dad, and I said, it was like, do you find it hard? I said, yeah, it's one of those things though. It's the most challenging, but it's also the most rewarding. And then Nina's old teacher commented and said, oh, both your kids are incredible. And I was like, wow, thank you for that. Because everyone says that. Yeah. They can both be little arseholes. Yeah. But you know what I mean? But will there be an extra pressure? I don't think I'm that big a deal, so we'll see. We'll see. Max is going into the comp. So he goes into the comp in September, and I think that's when primary school's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's chilled. It's laid back, and then you go into the comp where all the other schools, all the primaries, I think that's when your challenges of being a boy especially, and I've never been a girl, so I don't know. And that's when your real challenge starts, isn't it?
I think you saying you're not a big deal, you might think that, and I think we always have that sort of mentality because I think we're constantly trying to grow or whatnot. But to him, you're probably a huge fucking deal.
He follows me on Instagram now.
He follows you and everything, right? He sees
he loves the contacts that I've got.
But I remember at your show, at a live show in Newcastle, I was in the booth across your family, and I remember
the whole time.
I remember his head on the railing, just watching you and smiling at everything that you said.
Really?
Yeah. So that's like must be a crazy proud moment for you as well as him.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Because you can't see anyone in them
You can't
shows,
see
right?
anyone.
But yeah, mate, I was very surprised because he's so quiet. I was surprised when he was the first one on stage and Nina wasn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He loved being on the stage, yeah. But dude, that moment there was when on the stage at the end where all that confetti was going off.
That was a cool scene.
That I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
I thought Luke and Chris Williamson were going to set off those little fucking party poppers. And then next thing I know, all this fucking confetti everywhere. And I turned around and both my kids are on the stage and I was like, wow.
That's cool.
Now, even now, I'm tearing up a little bit thinking about that. That's emotional.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
cool.
you can't, I don't know if I'll ever be able to replicate that ever with all my family there, all my friends there.
Would you want to?
I mean, I wouldn't mind topping it. I wouldn't mind doing 10,000 people at the arena, for example.
Question. Is it ever going to be as good as that first one?
You never,
It's never that same feeling.
Nah, as it fuck.
Because when you try to, what I've realized is, and this has happened a lot with me, like with, when me and Smith first lived in Bali, when I had my first show this year, when I first made some money and I bought something nice, I don't think you can ever replicate that same feeling. And I think when you go back and try to relive it, you're like, nah, it's not the fucking
and I think it's because it was unplanned as well.
Yes.
Like I was like, that confetti was supposed to come out when you came out with those t-shirt guns that didn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
I fucked up.
You came out, you blew his load early. And then you came out and then so I thought it had just gone because I was looking at Luke and he was like, and I was like, it was gone. And then when it came out in the end, and that was a lot of fucking confetti.
That
Bro,
place
it was in the
fuming.
bar. It was in the bar, the confetti. And I think it was also because it was unplanned.
It was unplanned.
You know what I mean? It was unplanned. They were there. I was like, what are you doing? And they were dancing and there was water all over the place and people were loving it. It was wild. That. Yeah.
What was any nerves before that show?
No.
There was no nerves, but I feel like
my energy was high. I flipped switches into let's fucking go. You see me flip?
I saw you flip, but before backstage, I was backstage and you were quiet than usual.
Yeah.
But that's because it's like game day, right?
I like to be in my own space when I'm in that.
Yeah.
Like
zone.
whenever I speak, whenever I go, and you've been on a stage with me a couple of times, sometimes I like you just fuck off for a bit. I'm just like, I need to get my head in a space. I get some music on, get in a game. And then, but was I nervous? Nah.
Nah.
And do you know why? I've spoken a lot at a lot of places, but really, because for that show, you probably saw, I'd practiced like fuck. I'd rehearsed a lot. Leslie, my wife, forced me. You need to rehearse twice this week. You need to rehearse. And it was full rehearsal. Like we were on a stage, lights, music, everything, the microphone going out. And we practiced all of that, which meant that it was easy for me to think I knew if something fucked up, I'd be okay because I'd already fucked it up. It wasn't like, you notice I didn't have slides that I could read off. Yeah. Nothing I could read because I could fuck that up.
I think it's impossible to fuck up a show for yourself because it is you.
And also, stories.
Yeah.
No one knows whether they're the right story or not. No one knows whether I fucked it up apart from me. That's why I love, when I speak, that's why I love to tell stories. Yeah. People get involved with them, but you can't fuck up your own experience. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
I'm not telling somebody else's story. I'm not reading facts off a slide. I can't mess it up. I'm just reliving an experience that I've had.
Yeah. I was, every time I've opened for Smith, because it was the first time experiencing my first ever show, right? This year as well. And on my first one in Manchester, I wasn't nervous at all. Yeah. And not being nervous at all made me a bit nervous. Yeah. I was like, I should feel something. Yeah. Why am I not feeling something? Yeah. Because when I was opening for Smith, I always get some butterflies. Yeah. And I think that's because I'm opening for someone else and I want to do well for my best mate. Yeah. So in my head, I was thinking, when you go into your own show, like for yourself, you can't fuck up. Yeah. Because
I was more nervous, I suppose, whether people were going to turn up. Because this was it. People don't think this, but I have self-doubt like everyone else.
Oh, yeah?
And
like imposter syndrome?
Fuck off. I don't think that exists. It's a fucking dickhead. Made up term. Made up. Discomfort, you mean?
All right, wait.
Discomfort.
We're going to go into that.
Aye.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's like this toxic positivity thing. I'm like, toxic's just a standpoint. It's not even it's just your, you know what I mean? It's just your view. Anyway.
Talk about this discomfort.
So this self-belief thing.
Yeah.
And the same happened when I launched the book that I did last year.
Yeah.
I was mostly worried about going into an empty fucking theatre. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't worried about the talk because I've practiced, I'm rehearsed, and I love doing it. So I'm not going to get nervous very often about something that I value so highly. Know what I mean? This is what I love to do. It's my my thing. So I was mostly worried about, I remember speaking to Luke about this and he was like, listen, if me and you are going to do an event together, I'm used to hotel conference rooms, right? I'm used to that.
What did he say?
He said, I am not doing Paul Mort at the Marriott. He said, so we're either doing it big or we're not doing it. Next thing I know, he's like, oh, I booked Time Theatre. I was like, fuck right off. 1,000 people, fuck off. And that was the main thing I was worried about.
Yeah.
Because getting 1,000 people in a room with my following, we talked about this before, is incredible. So you guys that are listening that were there, thank you so much. And if you weren't there, we've got London coming up. So yeah. So that was the thing I was worried about, was coming into a room where half the seat's going to be empty here.
So I didn't know this, but apparently selling tickets is the hardest thing ever.
It is.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And I was chatting to a few people about this. I was like, selling that many tickets.
That many tickets, a lot of tickets, man.
Because there would be a lot of like influencers that you know with a couple million followers that probably can't sell 200 tickets.
No. Oh, dude, I know so many that they've had to cancel gigs because they didn't sell enough tickets. There was people 2 weeks before, there was a major comedian was meant to do a show there and it got cancelled because they didn't sell enough tickets. A major comedian.
Really?
And he's on the singing, the Masked Singer.
James is not a comedian.
Yeah, so I was worried about that empty room thing, because the thing is, when you do it in a hotel room, when it's my event, this is a little insider sneak for when you're a speaker or you run a seminar or a anything that's like a conference, you can take seats out. So if I think I'm going to get 150 people in the room and only 100 turn up, if I know that only 100 are coming, I can take 50 seats out and it looks jammed. You can't do that in a fucking theatre, can you?
No.
So that was the thing that I was most concerned about.
Okay.
Yeah, not the talk, but getting people in a room, because it's no joke, that. Yeah.
That was a crazy night.
But I did it anyway. Like, do you know, I think this is a big thing. And I did a video on it last year and I got loads of shit for it about this. You have to believe in yourself. I'm like, well, what if you just did the fucking work anyway? If people think, I didn't believe I could fill that. I don't believe that I can get this paperback book deal that I'm talking about. I'm like, how am I going to do that? With my following, there's no guaranteed sale. I'm not a doctor. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got a big profile. So how can I get that on the shelves in WH Smith?
Did you believe that you'd be something though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I believed in my message. And I believe in showing up anyway. So until, you know this Emma Raducanu that won the US Open?
Yeah.
So she proved my point. She is the first ever qualifier to win the US Open ever. She booked a flight home before the tournament even started because she didn't think she could win it.
Really?
She didn't think she could get beyond the qualifiers. But guess what? She just showed up and kept hitting balls.
Yeah.
She didn't believe she could, like, regardless of whether we think it's a fact or not, whether she's made it up or not, she'd booked a flight home. If that's an indication of not believing you can do something, I don't know what is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just did the work anyway.
Do you think that makes a big difference depending on the personality type though? Because I think like not having...
I think some people use it as an excuse. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I need to believe in myself, so I'm not going to do it. But if you just did it anyway, just do the work anyway.
Yeah.
You don't believe you have to get the result to do the... Like, I don't believe I can win this blue belt comp that I'm doing, but I'm going to show up and do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show up.
To be fair, I went in like that. I came second. I didn't think about it much.
You'd like to win it.
Yeah.
You'd like it, we've got goals.
Of course, everyone likes to win.
But you just need to show up and do the training.
Yeah.
It's the training that matters, not all that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Because I do realise there is a big trend, and obviously this year, January, new goals, new this, blah, blah. Everyone's like, I get this a lot. Hey, Diren, I can't wait to do your program, but I just want to get a little bit fitter before I do the program. I'm like, what? That's the point of the fucking program.
Just get started.
Just get started.
Just get started. I think that's the thing. You don't need to believe you can get the result. I mean, it helps, by the way. I think it helps. But what if you just believed you could do the next workout? I'm just going to do the next workout. I believe I can turn up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's what all success is built on, just continuing to show up.
Consistency, right?
Yeah. The only way to get better at it is by doing it.
Yeah. So
you can read about it.
Yeah.
You can visualize about it, but unless you actually do the work, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. What, you know, when you were talking about when you were in that headspace in 2019, was it? No, not 2019.
2014.
2014, sorry. When you were in that headspace, what were you thinking then in terms of like believing in yourself and doing it? Because you were still doing bits. You were still doing, I remember.
I was still making cheese.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember your first seminar that I went to, I saw you speak, you put your Stripe account out.
Yeah. That was 2019, yeah.
And the words that you said was, I know you go, half of this went up your nose.
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, dude. Back then, I mean, that was a struggle because you think about it. You don't end up. Listen, you don't end up suicidal by accident. You don't end up depressed by accident. It was a series of habits that I'd been partaking in, a series of habitual thoughts that led me to that point. It's like if I looked back, if you look at your life now, it's a result of your previous habits, full stop. If you look at your body now, it's a result of your previous habits. If you look at your bank account now, it's a result of your previous habits. So I'd accept that actually I didn't end up here by accident. I'm not broken. And I think the only belief that I had was, well, I'm not willing for my kids to be those kids who didn't have a dad. That wasn't me. And I suppose then I just someone asked me the other day actually, how long did it take for you to get changes in your body and your life back then? I was like, I wasn't measuring it because I knew that it was a new life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I wasn't even getting weighed regularly. I was just like, well, this is the way I have to live now. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, let's just embrace it. And this is.
It's either that or.
That was it.
Or the other way.
I can't be unwilling to stay the same and unwilling to do something different. I've got to be unwilling. If I'm unwilling to stay the same, then I've got to be willing to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to a lot of the time. So my self-belief then was rock bottom. I mean, I'd already achieved a lot in terms of business, so I knew how to make money. But everything else, I was like, I'm gonna have to suck it and see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to show up. There's only one way to find out, innit?
Yeah. What do you feel about men showing their emotions?
I think men end up showing their emotions anyway. I think they just wait until it's late, so they end up exploding.
Yeah.
So for me, the analogy that I like to use for men not showing their emotions, because it's not always about crying. It's not always about telling everyone about every emotion. But what men tend to do is, and I've worked with thousands of men, is we feel these emotions, but it's like, do you know when you're in a pool and you've got a beach ball and you push the beach ball down under the water and it's fine, but then as soon as you take your eyes off it, it goes and covers everybody. That's what men are like.
I like that.
That's what men are like. So their feelings end up coming out anyway.
I'm gonna note that down to use it with calories.
Yeah, but they just explode.
Yeah.
Instead of, and I think this is why I think that men need to have some kind of outlet as well. That's why I love jiu-jitsu. It's why I love boxing.
Do you think men sometimes purposely force to do that outlet when they have the options to open up? Because I think some men like that attention.
Yeah, it's a great question.
I think some men like that attention. And
I think that, I mean, I can do the same for women. I think that you think about this. I talk about this all the time, and you got to consider how many people I've worked with.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of fucking people for a very long time.
Yeah.
And
you've been coaching for how long?
I've been coaching in some way, shape or form since 2000.
Yeah.
Year 2000, 21 years. I've been coaching men in terms of mindset, mental health, mastering their emotions since 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
And we've done it very well. Thousands of people. I always used to think, well, why would somebody who hates their life get tools, techniques, and strategies and then still not do anything? And I used to be like, this was me for a long time, and I'd be like, because we're often not aware of it, but there's a secondary gain that we get sometimes from staying the same. So I was like, I knew what to do for 2 years before I get my shit together. The reality was I didn't know how else to get attention. So I'd disappear for 2 days. I'd turn my phone off. So my wife would wonder where I was. I've got no problem admitting this. I'd turn my phone off. I'd act up a little bit like kids do.
Yeah.
When they stamp their feet to get the parents' attention.
Yeah.
Or they're like, dad, 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 dad. What, man? They do it to get your attention. So often, we just don't know how to, I didn't know how to ask for love. I didn't know how to express how I was feeling. So I'd just act up.
Is that because?
I didn't know what else to do. Because I was a spoiled little arsehole, probably.
Fair enough.
I was spoiled when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah. Fair
I
enough.
didn't know how else. You think about if you don't get an ice cream, what do? You scream until you can get one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And do you think, when you said asking for love?
Yeah.
Why do you think men struggle with that so much? Because I'm only saying this because I'm only saying men.
Because they feel like pussy. Well, I've never been a woman, so I don't know.
Exactly. But women obviously feel this as well.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, when it comes to men with this sort of stuff, it's the feeling of, I guess, weakness. I don't know. What do you think?
Feeling of weakness. My challenge was that I felt like, again, you got to think about it.
You're going to use a word there. You can use it if you want.
No, we feel like pussies. We feel like wimps. We feel like, well, I'm supposed to be the big, strong one in this relationship. Whether I like it or not, that's how I felt. I can only express my experience.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
we feel like we're meant to be the strong one of the relationship. We're meant to be the big macho man that brings
The
in the bread.
provider,
Yeah, that
the
does.
this, yeah.
There is pressure, or we probably create the pressure ourselves. To be fair,
Yeah.
there's probably not pressure from anywhere. We create our own pressure.
Yeah.
And for me, that was certainly the case. And I just didn't know. I also didn't know how to give it very well. I think often we don't know how to ask for it, but we don't know how to give it very well either. So I didn't know how else to give love. So then therefore I didn't know how to get it back either. So it was just this whole thing. And I felt like and I think the challenge that a lot of men have these days is that we already feel like a burden sometimes, particularly when we're low. So it's okay to say talk. It's okay to say talk, but I already feel like a burden because I'm a pisshead. I'm always on a sniff, disappear for days at a time. I'm tired. I'm horrible to be around. So then putting on another one on my wife saying, hey, I'm really struggling here.
Yeah.
If I already feel like a sack of shit, I already feel worthless. I already feel like a burden. So I certainly don't want to place more on her. So talk. But one, who do I talk to?
Yeah.
I'm worried about how they're going to react.
Yeah.
What are they?
You're also worried about they might use it against you.
Yeah. How do I say it? What do I say? How do I talk about it? How will they react? What will they think of me? So this whole talk thing, this is my problem with the whole mental health game right now. Talk about what? Who to? What do I say?
Who's going to understand?
That was my whole thing, man. I was like, no one gets it. No one gets it. The reality was they did, but I didn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's why my work has gone down quite well, because when I talk about it, people are like, oh shit, you're describing exactly how I feel and nobody else has done that. Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting conundrum for sure.
The whole burden thing is so accurate.
Huge,
especially when you're like,
and I didn't want to be mollycoddled.
Yeah.
I didn't want, oh, everything's okay, you're doing it. I didn't want that. I actually needed a fucking wake up call.
Yeah.
I needed and it's not a man up. I just needed someone to say, dude,
get yourself
together. I get it. I totally get it. But this didn't happen by fucking accident. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
And actually, bit of an exclusive. There's a lady who I talk about in my book called Donna. Donna was on suicide watch. So basically, she had to sit in my house to make sure I didn't jump off a cliff.
Was she at your show?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen her for about 4 years.
I think you mentioned her at the show, though.
I would have messaged her at the show, definitely.
You did,
because she used to look at me over the top of my glasses. She'd come to my office. She'd come to my office at my house to see how I was getting on. She'd look at me over. She was like, "You're fucking hungover, aren't you?" And she used to. She didn't even have to say it, but she was like, "Listen, I get it, Paul, and this is the vibe I got. I get it, but you need to get your shit together. It didn't happen by accident. You didn't appear by mistake. If you want things to change, you have to change. No, it's not going to get better by itself."
Did you listen to her?
Yes, eventually.
Why? This is
because she didn't mollycoddle me.
Because you respected her.
Yeah, she didn't mollycoddle me. She told me the truth.
Yeah,
actually, and a lot of people aren't ready for this. She was one of the first ones that told me the fucking truth. You did not end up here by accident.
Which gained your respect.
It did.
And so you listened.
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest problem with mental health.
Yeah.
I'm hearing fucking annoying influencers talk about this without getting no one's respect first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I've seen a lot of male actually influencers start talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And I don't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem genuine to me.
The description of it, you can tell by the way someone describes it, whether they've been through it or not. Do you know what I mean? And I suffered for so long that I'm able to describe it in detail, but even still now, I'm not fucking perfect. I mean, that long COVID experience that I had, where it disappeared for weeks.
Yeah, I know.
That was the hardest.
I messaged you.
That time there when Matt was in a coma, when I had this long COVID thing, I still couldn't train jiu-jitsu because of my pec. Like that last year was the hardest. Sorry, not the hardest. That's a wrong word, wrong language. The most challenging year that I've had since 2014.
Okay.
But also, like I said about the kids, the most rewarding because I did some mad shit last year.
Yeah.
Mad shit.
Yeah.
I mean, doing that deal with Spotify, where I signed with Spotify, the gig, the live show, the income, the book, the contacts that I made. Last year was amazing. But also, my friend died this time last year, 45, heart attack. Blew me mind that. I struggled with that. Then I got COVID. Then I got long COVID. Then I tore me pec. Then I got banned from driving. So it was a real, that year was challenging, but at the same time, those are the ones that you also learn the most from. That's when you learn about yourself, man, when it's hard.
When things like that happen with people's lives, yourself and anyone else that goes through any of this stuff, what is your mindset when all that stuff is going? Are you in there? And I think this is really important for people to hear, because there's my outlook on it, but I want to hear yours. For someone that's gone through some shit, right? What is your mindset in that moment of time? Is it tomorrow's going to be better, or I need to pull myself out of this, or I'm just going to sit there and fucking let it all out?
So I'm not a, and I hear this a lot in my game. You got to consider my game. You could call me a life coach, but I hate that just because of the connotations that come with it.
Yeah.
Because that life coaching game is all fucking live, laugh, love and shit. Well, I kind of get. Do you know what I mean? But I hear this phrase often, oh, well, just sit with it and let it go. I'm like, how? How do you do that? Out your ass?
Yeah.
How do you let it go?
Yeah.
Like, and you hear this all the time. I'm like, you're telling me stuff that's all theory. And I think this is why I get asked I was on the radio this morning and I get asked a lot of the time, why does it resonate with people so well? I'm like, because it's practical. I'll tell you what to do. Do. And I'm a man, and I'm not even that practical, but I'm a practical man. I like to do things.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to sit there and you can't think your way out of depression.
No.
You can't think your way out of anxiety. And this doesn't mean always go for a walk. It's just like, well, okay, what can I do? What am I learning here? What can I do? How can I use this? I mean, a lot of last year, I just couldn't do what I would love to do. Couldn't get on a stage. Couldn't train jiu-jitsu. Couldn't do a lot. So I just had to focus on what I could do.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? I can't do that. What can I do just to feel a little bit better?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, this is going to sound really crazy, but I know that all of the challenge that I've been through has given me some kind of gift, right? And when I'm in a challenge, I'm like, all right, there's a gift in here. What am I going to learn? What am I going to learn? I'm going to be better when I come out the other side of this. So I think that, and again, I do talk about it, but at the same time, there's something that I learned way back from my deepest, darkest days with that I know it's going to pass. But if I can do something to speed up it passing, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a bunch of strategy, and that's why I love journaling so much.
Do you like the struggle?
A little bit.
So do I.
I like a bit of chaos. Someone asked me the other day, is anything in your life not planned? I'm like, not much, because you can't you can't do what I'm doing at the level that I'm doing it at without planning. Full stop. But at the same time, I like a little bit of chaos. Like, I haven't got a train booked home to go home today. I'm cool with that. I like a bit of flexibility, but yeah, I like a little bit of the struggle. Not the suffering, but I like a little bit of the struggle.
The mental struggle or the work struggle?
I don't have the work struggle because I haven't built my life to do shit that I hate.
Nice.
Like, do you know what I mean? I haven't built my business. I didn't get into business to do shit that I hate.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do that, I'd stay in the job that I had when I was younger. But I built my business in a way where I don't do things that need motivation.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I've got to create a PowerPoint presentation, I hate doing that.
Yeah.
So I get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
I get somebody that does like doing it.
That's
And
good.
again, it's not always about money. Sometimes I call in a favor. Do you know what I mean? Who can introduce me to that? Who can open that door for me? Who can do this? Who can do that? Who could I pay to do that part for me?
Yeah.
So I don't, in work, in terms of doing the work, there's never a massive struggle because I build my tasks around things that I love doing. So I don't need motivation and I don't need willpower to do it. I don't think there's much value in constantly having to force yourself to do shit that you hate.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But do you think there's an element of...
Or sometimes you have to eat shit.
That's what I mean.
Sometimes you have to eat shit.
Because I feel like sometimes
For
we
example,
need to do
I love
the
doing
jobs.
this, but I don't particularly like traveling here.
Yeah.
But I can't get here without traveling here.
Yeah. Because you need to have... If you don't have, say, like those shitty jobs and stuff, I don't think you can appreciate what you do and how you feel today.
Well, even now, I still have to do things that I don't like, but I'm like, okay, once this is done, how can I, A, never do it again?
Yeah.
B, get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Or C, just delegate it. Like, just stop doing it.
Yeah.
There's like everyone, especially in business, everyone thinks they have to be on every platform, like TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I'm not going on.
Yeah. But to get to that point where you're delegating, you went for an element of struggle.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Of course.
And I think this is what a lot of people with their New Year's resolution, like whether it's fitness, business, mental health, whatever, they think they can just get to, say, your position right now like that and be like, I'm not going to do anything I don't like because Paul Mort said this or Diren said this and blah, blah, blah. But bruv, you got to fucking, there's an element of struggle that you need to do.
What's interesting, Diren, is that, isn't it weird that the things we don't like doing are also the things that we're shit at?
Exactly.
We don't mind doing the things that we're great at.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So it's like going to the gym. I don't like going in the gym and picking things up and putting them back down.
Yeah.
That's just not my game.
Yeah.
However, when I'm in shape, I don't mind it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just that element of eating shit for a little bit.
Exactly. And there's something weirdly empowering about that. Even, I know you love your ice baths and all that.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, sitting in an ice bath in the morning, it's not really pleasant, is it? To begin with, as in going
To begin with, you're right.
To begin with.
Yeah.
And then when you come out of it, because that's an element of struggle, you sit in an ice bath for 2 fucking minutes, right? It's an element of struggle. What's the feeling when you come out?
Amazing.
And that's the same
Actually,
with...
the element of struggle is the bit before I even get in.
Yeah,
Getting
exactly.
in. That's the hard part. Getting in, jumping in.
I think I just
say jumping. I'm talking about a slide in.
Slide
There's
in.
no jumping here.
I think I just made my own analogy with the ice bath and comparing it to something else.
Yeah.
We'll write that one down.
Yeah.
Clip that. Big man, clip that.
But that's a case of,
Yeah.
I just have to commit to starting, getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want to, and I think that's the great thing about this is that if I'm seeing improvements, the brain loves progress.
Yeah.
Brain loves to see progress.
Yeah.
So if I can show it progress, the struggle bit's a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if someone, so people talk about consistency and they talk about progress, and I'm like, do you know what? You've got to have multiple things you can measure. Like for example, if someone's not losing weight, it's easy for them to give up.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the only number they're tracking.
Yeah.
But they've got to be starting to track the reps. Or the lifts going up? Or is the rest period coming down? Is the rest and heart rate dropping?
Yeah.
Or are they just showing up to the gym? I think if you get caught up in just one way of measuring success, it's hard.
But I think also a lot of people get carried away with, like, I get the point of like, oh, the sky's the limit with your fucking goals and shit. But when you're hitting huge goals and you're getting no reward, how are you going to stay consistent?
Yeah.
You need that dopamine hit.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
You just have. That's why I just like multiple ways of measuring shit.
What would you say to someone when it comes to goal setting this year? Then, what's the way?
I've got a couple of things.
Let me ask your goals.
Yes.
Let me ask your goals, and then you can tell us how you set them and how you thought about them. And I think that will help.
I have an amazing strategy that I use. It's called. I start with a vision. So I start with writing down, and this is a big, not a law of attraction thing, but it's called the hot pen technique. So for 30 minutes, I can't stop writing. Even if I write, I don't know what to write. So I set a timer for 30 minutes, and the statement I'm giving away one of my biggest secrets here, bro.
Cheers, man.
It's big money, this. So I write down, it's 2025. My life has been a great success, and I'm grateful because, and then I just keep writing. That's my 3-year vision. Sometimes that's 8 pages of A4. Then I'm like, I then go 12 months. How will I know that I'm a third of the way towards these 3-year goals? And that's when it starts to become mechanical. And then I go, how will I know I'm a quarter of the way towards those goals? They become my 90-day goals. And then I go, how will I know I'm halfway towards those 90-day goals? They're my 45-day goals. And then I'm like, okay, what are my 7-day goals? That for me is the key to living an inspired life, is to be able to take a big vision and shrink it down so small that you take action on it daily, tiny little steps. That's for me the key to living an exciting, fucking electrifying life, is to be able to take a big picture and take it daily. Now, I think the reason people struggle with inspiration, whenever you're not inspired by your goals, it's because they're too much about you. The goals that mean the most to you are the ones that somehow involve other people or involve impact on other people. They're the ones that you can get the most excited about. And actually, this is what I love. I love a goal where I don't know how I'm going to pull it off.
Okay.
Where I don't know the how to. Everyone knows how to get in shape. Everyone.
They don't do it.
They know how to. The problem that they've got is it's too fucking boring. The goal's too boring. If you think about some of the most fulfilling things that you're most proud of that you've done, at some point, you had no fucking idea how you're going to do it. No idea.
True.
So I'm like, okay, what's my goal that I've got no idea how to do? There's got to be at least one where you don't know the how to, and you've got to start asking who, not how. Who, not how. That's my favorite question right now. Who's already doing that?
Yeah.
Who do I need to be around? Who do I need to add in my peer group? Who can open a door for me? Who can give me that intro? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's already done it? Who have I got to get around? Do you know what I mean? That who thing is such an important thing, because I said this to you in the car on the way over. I'm like, the biggest challenge that people have is they're trying to change the habits, change their behavior, but they're still hanging out with the same people.
Yeah.
And I said to you in the car that when the people that you hang out with are in direct competition to your goals, you're just left with that willpower vibe, and that runs out. If you put me in a room full of 10 fucking smackheads, if you leave me in long enough, and I would consider myself quite empowered mentally, I would eventually become the 11th. Put me in a room full of 10 millionaires.
Because you think your willpower
it'll run out eventually.
It'll run out.
Yeah.
Because you're getting hits.
Environment will always beat willpower.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's mad because once you put yourself in an environment,
Yes.
one small environment where it's like all about growth and all of that stuff, as soon as you tap into that,
You raise your standards.
you raise your standards,
Yeah.
you start attracting more people like that. Next thing you know, 5 years later,
Yeah.
you don't talk to any of
And I
your
never
mates.
say, I'm always like this. I'm not saying dump your friends and family. I'm saying, like, if you just rolled with white belts, would you get better?
Oh, of course.
No.
No.
You got to roll with people that are better. So, because they force you to raise your standards because
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to fit in.
Of course.
So a peer group, I always talk about this. We all have, every peer group that we have, we will modify our behavior to get their approval.
yeah.
Right? Because we want to fit in. It's like, it's a law of conformity. We want to fit in.
Yeah.
So the problem with most of us, we lower our standards to fit in. You need a group of people. That's why I'm down here. Yesterday, I was around a group of people where I was one of the lowest earners in a room.
Funny you say that. I know people that dumb themselves down to have a conversation with people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay every now and again.
It is okay. It's not
But
like it
your
doesn't come from.
standards and your results go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like your results, you want to see what your standards are with your body, look at it.
And I don't even think those sort of things come from bad intention.
No.
I sometimes think
It's human nature.
it's human nature.
It is human nature to want to fit in.
But also, I sometimes think it comes down to not trying to show up in front of that group of people or show off or to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think people fear. I don't know if better is the word to use, but sometimes they fear of being, I don't know, the better one in the group because they get shut
Yeah,
down.
because you'd call it bragging.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you bragging again, are you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I am. I talked to Dr. Mike about this, actually.
Yeah. Really.
Mike was he shared this. He shares his before and after photos every now and again. He's like, some people get triggered by it. I'm like, yeah, but for every one person that gets triggered by your results, 10 people are fucking inspired by it.
Yeah.
This is why I will never ever apologize for my results.
Yeah.
If you're triggered by it, that's your problem.
Yeah.
You're triggered by it because you know you can do better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If I'm ever triggered by someone that's more successful, I need to fucking look in the mirror.
See what the fuck is wrong.
I need to look in the mirror. Why am I so triggered by he's my greatest teacher? Why? Because he looks like he's doing better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know the only thing though, the funny thing is, we only get triggered by people who seem to be doing better when we're fucking spectating.
Yes.
When we're in the arena, when we're on the pitch, we don't have time to see how everyone else is doing.
No, you're too
because I
busy.
focused on ours. But when I was
100%.
sick last year, one thing I noticed, I was scrolling and it never made me feel better. It's because I was sitting on the sidelines. It felt like the world was passing me by because I couldn't do anything. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a hard time. But yeah, I'll never apologize for producing any results in my life.
But the worst thing about that is you doing that, right? A lot of people get stuck in that negativity for so
why is it not?
fucking long.
Why is
and
it
then
not me?
blame the fucking world.
Yeah.
Blame everything else.
But they
Everyone
just asked the wrong
else
question.
Other than, yeah.
Yeah, instead of saying, everyone goes, oh, well, why can't my life look like that?
How? Who?
How?
Or who?
How can my life look like that?
Yeah.
Look like that? And who can I get to help me? Who
Yeah.
can support me? It's not always about hiring a mentor. The amount of favors that people will do you, do you know what I mean?
No.
There's a lot of people that are willing to help.
I mean, how many times I hit you up for email shit? I
Yeah.
asked you. I was like, I didn't even know what email marketing was until I met Smith.
Yeah.
I knew from like big companies and
Yeah.
stuff. When I met Smith in Australia, I was unbelievable on the gym floor.
What
I
you
knew-
got to think about then, you helped him
exactly
on the gym floor.
On the gym floor.
Yeah.
And then I saw that and I asked him, where did you start this? He goes, you need to do email domination with Paul Mort. What did I do? I hit you up.
Yeah.
I messaged you. I did your course. You put me on your course.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
And there's many
are
people
scared.
like that, yeah. And also, I think though, and I'm glad you've said this because I think we'll give up after asking one or two people. Yeah, oh, well, he didn't reply to me. Oh, well, he didn't get back to me. But fucking hell, do you know how many people I've emailed to try and get on the podcast? Fucking hundreds. Guess what? Most of them have said no, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You know why?
We give up after it. There's people do this with email. They send 5 emails and one about that have made £1 million.
Yeah.
Try sending one 6 days a week for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm going to try to look for my first email. I mean, that was fucking shocking. I had no fucking idea.
Mine had pictures in it and shit.
I had no fucking idea. But it's funny you say that because I think a lot of the time when people do ask, because what I think happens is...
We take it personally when they don't get
They
replies.
take it personally, affects it taps their ego, right? It like, oh, who's this person that can't fucking reply to me or whatever? Right? I've got a blue tick. Why didn't he reply to me? Or whatever the fuck it is, right? And I think this is why I think it's important. Not that it can't happen when you're older, is I think you should take every fucking shot and go for everything that you can whilst you're young, right? Because your ego isn't that big. When you start getting jobs where you're making a bit of money, right? Whether it's a standard job, whether you're earning 40K, 30K, 20K, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you start getting used to these certain luxuries in life that you don't want to give up on.
Yeah.
And when people don't give up on these luxuries, they find it hard to let go of those things, to go back down, to try something that will have a much better outcome in the years to come. They don't sacrifice it.
Yeah.
And then they get older, and I'm saying this because I know people that talk to me about this stuff, and then they get older, regret why they didn't do it, and then talk shit and be negative towards what you're doing because you sacrificed whatever you did at the time.
I see this with footballers all the time.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You see football, they're overpaid this and overpaid that. I'm like, well, if it's that easy, why aren't you doing it?
Exactly, yeah.
Because at 16 years old, you were just as good as him, but you couldn't stay off the fucking booze.
Exactly.
They can't drink.
Yeah.
And people, I hate seeing footballers get so much shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, they can't fucking socialise. They actually hardly get any time off.
They're never home.
Never home.
They're always away.
Yeah.
Always away. I see them, man. I'm like, Hector, I chat to him.
Drives me insane how much shit that they get.
Yeah, they're
I'm
always
like,
away.
if it's that easy, why aren't you doing it? This is why even a Boris might be a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I get that. If you're so fucking smart, why aren't you an MP, mate?
Yeah.
Because you're a lazy fucker. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny old...
Because you're a Twitter politician. A Twitter politician.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a funny thing seeing... And again, I've probably been caught up in it when I'm spectating.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting on the sidelines, not pushing myself. I don't even notice what a lot of... I mean, me and you have to talk about, did you see that post? Did you see that post?
Yeah.
And we don't even see each other's posts. Why? Because we're too busy doing shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Someone got triggered at this actually the other day when I said... I don't watch only my close friends' stories. And you know what? I'll be honest. I'll watch the fucking story if I'm in it. I'll watch it if I'm in it, bro. I want to see what I'm doing in that story. How am I looking, big man? You know, I'll look at that. But other than that, why? I'm there to create.
Yeah.
You know, I'm there to create.
It's a strange old thing that, yeah. People have taken the huff for me. Paul, why don't you comment on any of my stuff? I'm like, because I haven't even seen it, man. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm doing shit. You know what I mean? I get asked a lot of questions about a lot of different things. And I'm like, most people's problem is that they're too busy thinking the way to nowhere. I get asked, it's funny. There's a lot of questions that I get asked. I'm like, what makes you think I've got the answer? I've got a job interview. Any tips? I'm like, I haven't had a job for 22 years this year. How would I know the answer to that? I've employed a few people, but I haven't had a job for 22. And I also get asked, how do you get over a breakup? I'm like, bro, I've had the same girlfriend since I was fucking 16.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? However, the answer to a lot of the questions...
You can ask me.
How'd you get over this? How did you do that? How'd you do this? And I'm like, the secret is most people, they're not working towards anything.
Yeah.
So all they're focused on what they don't like and what's gone wrong. I'm like, you need this. For me, sorry, vegans, you need a fucking animal to hunt. People's biggest problem, they're just wandering through life.
Yeah.
Drifting.
Yeah.
One drama to the next because they don't have enough of a fucking mission that really... I'm just working on this mission.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of stuff that I don't notice. I don't get triggered by it because I'm working on the mission.
Do you believe, I believe this to a certain extent. Actually, I do believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think we already have like all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think we always need reassurance from others.
Yeah, and we often just haven't been asked the right question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm Master Coach of the Year, bro. Because I'm willing, you know what I mean? That's why I won it 2 times around. They told me, we've seen you coaching and you're not afraid to ask horrible questions.
Yeah.
Like dark questions that most people wouldn't have the balls to ask a client. I'll ask them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that often the problem is that you're asking, no one we're talking about there, why is my life not like that?
Yeah.
Instead of asking how, the only thing that's different is the question, and questions are the steering wheel of the mind.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of the answers.
This is why I love Zoom calls with clients.
Yeah. We just haven't been asked the right question yet.
Yeah.
Someone said to me this morning, why do I get more? I do a lot of work on my mental health. Why do I get more than anxiety? I'm like, who told you it was anxiety? What if it was just your body providing you with the right amount of energy you need to fucking smash the morning?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who said that? Who made up imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
Who made that up?
Talk to me about that.
Who invented? So I get it, by the way. Do you not think that when me, kid with 2 GCSEs, told them I'm bipolar meds for life, hardly any followers on Instagram, thought when I was on that stage at the Time Theatre that somebody could have said, you don't know what you're talking about. Of course I thought that, but I just don't put a massive label on it. Don't need a label.
Yeah, okay.
It's just being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like someone said to me the other, I didn't know you were bipolar. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm Paul Mort.
I'm Paul Mort. I'm not bipolar. Or I have bipolar. I'm like, I don't have it. It was just a medical diagnosis. So it's the same. And I think that my problem with imposter syndrome is I think it makes I can't see how calling it that can empower anybody.
Okay.
I can see how it can keep you stuck, but I can't see how it can be empowering.
I'm probably going to get shit for this.
Yeah.
I feel the same about anxiety.
Yeah.
I feel the same about anxiety. You tell a fucking 8-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Shouldn't know what it is. They shouldn't know what it is.
Oh yeah, my son's got anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, of course he fucking does. You just told him he's got anxiety.
Yeah.
Of course he's got fucking anxiety.
I get asked about all the time, will you come into schools and that? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come into comps, but anywhere younger than that, they shouldn't know. I didn't know what it was.
No.
We didn't have these discussions.
Nah.
I think focus on physical health and you'll put a lot of the mental health.
Because then it dictates the way you should live your life.
Yeah.
Or the way you should be.
And this is something that I learned from Robbins. He was like, you don't have anxiety. You can't catch it. It's not contagious. It's like you can have coronavirus.
Is that what he says? Yeah.
Yeah. He said you can't catch anxiety. It's not contagious. It's created.
Yeah.
You create it through, and again, you can give me shit if you want, but there is an element of, it might be passed down a little bit. You might be more prone to anxiety, but it doesn't mean that you have it. It's not a disease.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You know when I think, I'm fucking loving this podcast. Yeah. It's fucking great.
I love talking about
this shit. Yeah. You know what else I think?
You're not born anxious, right? Where did you catch it?
Nah, exactly.
Who did you catch it off?
You know how people catch it? When life's too perfect.
Do you think?
Yeah. You know why? Because I think sometimes people look for problems.
Yeah.
Dude,
you're on point here, because you got to think, the people that suffer the most from anxiety are the ones that are creative.
Okay.
Creative intellect. So if I'm not solving problems, you got to think about this. Your brain's a problem-solving machine.
Yeah.
You give it a problem, it'll try and solve it. So if I'm not solving enough problems, my brain will start looking for them.
Yes.
Think about anxiety is inventing problems that don't exist yet.
Looking or creating.
It's a future-based thing.
Yeah.
It's a future. What if this happens? What if that happens? I'm like, the thing is, you're caught up in thinking.
Yeah.
Just get doing. Dude, you know my story about, the flight story, right?
Yeah, of course.
On the train here, so the last time, it's interesting, I hadn't experienced any kind of panic attack or anxiety for a long time because of what I've learned about anxiety. And in September time, I'm on the train, the cross-country train, which is a shit train to Birmingham, to Warwick University to go and speak at an event. And I wasn't underprepared. I was under the weather. So I had this long COVID thing. I was struggling. I actually vomited on the train. It was awful. And on the way back, I didn't have anything to do. All I had was my phone, no Wi-Fi, nothing else. Guess what I did? Started getting anxious. Because I didn't have anything to hold my attention. Didn't have anything to watch. Didn't have any work to do. Didn't have anything to read.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like this, and I start getting anxious because I've got nothing else to put my thoughts on.
Yeah.
Fuck, how long is this going to take? It was dark. I can't see out the window. Are we even moving? It's rattling a little bit. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Tried to ring Leslie. No reception.
Yeah.
And I just started inventing these problems. And that happens for a lot of people. Right now, this health anxiety thing is a bit of a challenge for people.
Yeah.
But we're only anxious when we're thinking about the things that make us anxious.
Yeah. You create, because...
So the thing is, you can't just stop thinking.
No.
You just have to be able to do what's called diversion, which is diverting your focus and your thoughts somewhere else.
Yeah.
So my iPad, for on the way home, I've got loads of shit downloaded on there. Have you seen Dope Sick yet?
No.
Oh, bro. Disney Plus. Have you seen that new thing with Will Smith, the nature show?
No.
Oh, dude.
Oh, what, on national?
I seen it.
Yeah, no. I've only seen one episode. I've watched the trailer,
cool.
but I haven't watched it.
It's cool. I've got loads of things to watch. I've got work to do. I've got things to write. I've got so many things where I can just be like, I can't get anxious.
Yeah.
I haven't got time.
Yeah.
Because I won't even think about being anxious because my thoughts are somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's going to be like, obviously, Diren Kartal, Mr. Knee Up 24/7.
Yeah.
Anytime I don't do nothing, I go for a walk.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Keeps my mind busy.
Yeah.
And this is why I've been getting loads of story questions lately. Diren, when are you going to Australia? Are you going to go back to Australia? All this stuff. I'm like, nah. People think I'm crazy for this, but I think life's too easy there.
Mm.
Great beaches.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
Mm-hmm.
Great coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Even minimum wage is fucking great. You can live a good life in Australia on minimum wage. You got everything that you need.
Mm-hmm.
When everything is so perfect, you start creating problems.
Yeah. Or you could just get busier.
You could get busier there.
Get busy solving that shit.
You could get busier, but
yeah.
I like the element of struggle. And I think when we are busy, like you said, solving problems, we don't have time to be anxious.
No. People say, do you not want to slow down? And I think that it's not, for me, it's not just about achievement all of the time. I like the chase.
Yeah.
I love the chase. I find the chase electrifying.
Yeah.
I find going after the mission exciting.
Yeah.
I might fail, I might win, I might lose, I might win. It might be positive, it might be negative. But guess what? I'm going after it.
Yeah. You know what? This is a great time to actually talk about this. Like in the last week, I've been thinking a lot about like questioning myself, like who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's Diren Kartal?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a personal trainer? Are you a podcaster? Are you a comedian? What? Are you a seminar guy? Do you do B2Bs?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's because I've had such a busy year last year. And for the first time, I've had time. I'm overthinking things that I don't need to.
Just do what's working.
Yeah. So I'm like...
So to me, it's just a great question. So we dude, and this is such a great point. And it happened to me yesterday. So I'm in this meeting that I was telling you about. And I hadn't seen some of these people for 2 years.
Yeah.
The last time I was there was 2019. And I'd only doing a little bit of what I was doing there. And they're like, someone was like, well, Paul, I don't quite get what you do. I was like, neither do I. I help people get their shit together. How do you do that? Coaching? I was like, I do coaching, books, podcasts, public speaking, theatre shows, you know what I mean? TV shows, radio shows. You know what I mean? I'm like, I do all of those things and I'm cool with that. I just help people get their shit together. You empower people. That's what you do. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how you do it. You know, I can be serious. I can be fun. I can talk. I can write. I can come in your ears. Do you know what I mean? I can do all of those things. But the reality is, we're value adders. We add value to people's lives, and I wouldn't get caught up in the how you do it.
And you're saying you don't have to pinpoint how.
Do you'll not be in the fitness game forever?
No. Yeah.
You'll not be talking about Need Up 24/7 in 10 years' time. You'll be doing it in a different way, but you'll still be empowering people. That's what we do.
Diren Robbins, is that what you're saying?
I might live on my island. I might invite you to my island at some point.
Yeah,
but you know, that's what we do.
No,
we empower people. We add value to. That's what we do. We're value adders.
Yeah.
People wouldn't follow us unless they got value from following us.
Yeah.
People wouldn't give us money unless they saw value in giving us money. I know that I empower people because people want to spend time with me, whether it's listening, whether it's watching, whether it's reading, whether it's coming to my seminars, my shows, because I make them feel more powerful after they've spent time with me. That's quite a big word, but I want an experience with me to be like fucking getting in a hot bath, a red hot bath. Not like getting in a lukewarm bath. I want, and again, I don't know if it's practiced or what, but when you spend time with me, I hope that you go away it being better than you were when you, it doesn't matter how it was. Do you know what I mean?
No,
but where it was. If you have coffee with me, I want that to be a fucking, I think every time we come into contact with people, they leave like an imprint on them. And I want that. I want people to remember who I am.
Where do you go that for? Where do you go?
My network's great. That's why I like spending time with you.
Oh, legend.
Like I love your company. I think
I appreciate that.
This is part of the reason why I love this thing that I was on yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it's been a mad few years and I've been the guy that people are plugged into.
Yeah.
So for me to be in that room yesterday and not be the speaker.
Yeah.
And not have everyone's eyes on me and not to be on and not to be the coach felt fucking great. I felt like I was on holiday. I was on a course and it felt amazing to not be the biggest baller in the room or the smartest person in the room. Do you know what I mean? It was really cool. Like, it felt refreshing. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have to be the center of attention. I ended up being the center of attention. But I didn't have to be. Do you know what I mean? I could just sit and listen and watch, and it was really cool.
Do you find it hard sometimes? I'm starting to feel like this sometimes. I sometimes hold myself back. I wait for the right time to speak because I feel like if you're talking too much in a room, I don't think you got time to learn or listen, right?
Oh, I find it really hard. This is when I first started my podcasts. I was like, fuck me, I interrupt people a lot. And you know why, Diren? It's because I get too excited.
Yeah.
I get overexcited. I'm like, I need to say this right now.
Yeah.
So I had to start making notes because I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait on that.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm used to being the center of attention. I'm used to being the star. So when someone else is talking, I'm like, oh shit, I've got something. I need to say it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something that I try and practice.
You just did it then.
I was joking. You asked the fucking question.
I know. But like, it's with someone like yourself, I always know it comes from a good place because you want to get it out before, number one, you forget it. Number two, you almost know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to finish with So you want to get there quicker.
And I've got value. I feel like I've got value to add. Yes.
Exactly.
I feel like, oh shit, yeah, I've done that. Shit, yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from, a place of like I say, a good place, because I think I can add some value to the conversation, or add value to your life somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think people can take that the wrong way sometimes?
Depends if I make it about me.
Okay.
If it's about them, they often don't mind you interrupting. I think when people are listening to the conversation, they notice it, but the person I'm having the conversation with just feels energy.
Yeah.
It's an energizing conversation. It's interesting, so I'll interrupt.
It's uplifting.
Yeah, but if someone's listening in, I now get while they think, fucking hell, Paul, you interrupt people. But it's like
Yeah. Do you think, not you specifically, anyone with this I guess topic I'm going to talk about, do you think it should always be about you, your life? Not you specifically, anyone.
Well, you asked me this.
Okay, I'm asking you.
You asked.
Okay.
No, you asked me this a while ago. You said, you asked me a question. I think it was before your show. You said, Paul, what is it about me that you said something along those lines
before my show? Oh,
you asked me a question. I can't. Why was that question?
I asked you. I must have asked you before my show. I think
when you were putting the content together.
When I was putting the content together, I said, "What is it about me that you want to see?
Yeah.
Like, why? What is it?
Why do you like being around me?"
Yeah, why?
And it's because. And who else has created this? Tony Jeffries, who I've known for a long time, he's created it. And it's the concept of being interested in people. You are interested. Yeah, I think too many people try and be interesting.
Okay.
Rather than interested. You are interested in people. That's why you're so great at relationships.
Oh, some might disagree.
So what I should say, what I might want to reframe that is you're interested in too many people. One at a time, bro, one at a time. But you know what I mean? That's why I like your company, because you are genuinely interested in people. You can talk about yourself, so can I.
Yeah.
But I like to think I'm starting to master the art of asking questions and showing interest. Honestly, rather than trying to be interested.
That is, I think, how I've got to where I am today, whatever I'm doing, is because I am actually genuinely interested in people, and I learn from people so much. Like, for example, your audiobook. I'll read it, I'll listen to it, but I can go straight to the source.
I do this all the time.
And talk to
if
the
I find
guy.
a good book.
Why wouldn't I get him on my podcast and have a conversation with him and learn from him like this? Because this is how I learn the most. I feel like human connection is one of the most important things in the world, and I think we're all looking for it. But I don't think we all know how to express ourselves in a way, or we express ourselves in a wrong way for the person to like us.
Yeah.
So therefore,
what I just get an opportunity sometimes to, and I felt this yesterday. People were asking me what I did, and there was part of me was like, am I bragging here? Am I talking about myself too much? I was like, no, they asked me the question.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm like, oh, well, I've got this best-selling book, and I've got this author where I've had Tyson Fury on, and I did this show. It's almost like sometimes you can't wait to tell them, but then at the same time, am I bragging? And then my mind's going, no, but they asked me. They asked me.
That reminded me. I spoke to Smith about this before my show as well.
Yeah.
He was in Texas, and he came back for the show, and I was like,
I didn't come back for my show, just put that one out there. Dickhead.
You didn't go on tour with him. I've been everywhere. I said to him, I was like, put the stuff together. He goes, show me when you're done in it, we'll have a look. I was like, yeah, sick. So we went over it, and I was like, don't you think it's too much about me? And he was like, Diren, it's your show. It has to be about you first.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you need to do that.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing something else, then you can do all that. But your stuff needs to be about you for now.
Bro, some of the time, some of my most popular podcasts where it's just me and Leslie talking.
Yeah.
Because it's a little inside look at what it's really like.
Yeah.
Because I get asked a lot, when you're going to have normal people on your podcast? I mean, that's a really interesting question. Because I see that everyone's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have had a bit starstruck when I met Tyson Fury, for example.
That would have been cool.
The reality was, I met him, he was just a normal guy that was large.
Yeah.
Just a normal fucking guy. Do you know when people say don't meet your heroes? I was a little bit worried about what he was going to be like. He was fucking incredible.
I had the same.
I loved his comedy, and he liked my comedy. He was like, "Oh, we're done. Is that it? Are you not got any more questions?" We were already like twice over the time that we'd booked him for. And he's like, "Have you got no more questions?" I was like, yeah. But it was just all of these people are just normal. Know what I mean? They're not. So Chris Ramsey's quite a big deal now, but I've known him a long time, so I know he's just normal. But this is mad. I didn't even know this. I was the first person that ever paid him to do comedy.
Really?
Ever.
How did that happen?
In 2011.
No way.
Yeah. I'd heard about him doing the local scene, and I had this boot camp thing, and I said, do you want to come? It was before Max was born.
Oh, wow.
And he's 11 on Monday.
Shit.
So I said to him, mate, do you want to come and do like a half-hour set for me members? I put a Christmas party on. He did it. And that's why he did my show. He doesn't do other podcasts. He has one of the biggest podcasts in the world.
I was going to say, keep in mind, he's sold now the Apollo O2.
Dude, he's a presenter on Children in Need now.
Oh, shit, yeah.
He's a big deal. Mr. Saturday Night TV, he calls himself. But he's selling out all these arenas, and he came on my podcast because he remembered me.
Yeah.
He remembered me from that long ago. But again, everyone's like, he's a celebrity. I mean, he's been on fucking Strictly Come Dancing. I mean, how can you're a celebrity if you go on Strictly Come Dancing, but I don't see him as a celebrity because I've known him for so long. And he's done all those circuits where there's 5 people. So there are normal people that have just been doing what they've been doing longer than anybody else that wants to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to Russell Kane about this. He's the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Ah, bro.
Really?
I can't stop talking about how funny he is. He's fucking mental. And he said, we're talking about this. He said, you know what? Everyone wants to be a comedian, but not everyone wants to drive for 4 hours for a gig with 5 people there and then drive 4 hours home 6 nights a week. They want the arenas from the start. They don't want to do that shit where they're driving all over the place.
The struggle.
Yeah. I remember I did it the week before my live show. I did it after, like a sportsman's dinner, an after dinner thing. And it was with Ray Parler. Ray Parler used to play for Arsenal. It was supposed to be Merson actually, and it ended up being Ray Parler. And I was fucking terrible. I was terrible. And I actually texted Chris. I said, mate, he said, stop doing after dinner parties. He said, you've done your after dinner speeches now. He said, you don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. I was like, do you know what? He's right. You have to do those shitty things first. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, you did a show. I said, the first ever seminar that I did was in about 2006. It was upstairs in a pub in the function room, and 6 people came to my seminar. People aren't willing to do that part. They miss that part. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you get, it's all right for you. You've got all these followers. I'm like, how many do you think I started with? Yeah. You know how many I started with? None.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people on my email list when I started? None.
Yeah. It's funny when all that fitness stuff started on Instagram Lives, Facebook Lives, on Facebook that me and Smith were doing.
Yeah.
I was writing down questions, so like pretending people asked.
Yes.
Smith was doing the same as well. I'm sure you've done it as well.
All the time.
Someone, you're just pretending someone asked you that.
Yeah.
No one fucking asked me that.
Yeah. Because everyone thinks you started it. Everyone thinks you had a head start.
Yeah, no.
You didn't. No one gave you a head start. You just started sooner.
No.
You were willing to be a white belt sooner. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like people want to get a blue belt before they start training. You don't get a blue belt for showing up to class. You get a blue belt after showing up at hundreds of classes, getting fucking blitzed, armboard, triangle, choked hundreds of times.
Do you ever? I was talking to a friend actually, and I was like, I think sometimes you get all these small luxuries, like making a bit of money, living in a nicer place, having a nice car. I'm talking about myself, by the way.
Car? What's that? I remember driving. I remember you. Dreamboat.
And in my head, I was like, I pulled myself back. I was like, whoa. Don't forget the mission. Don't forget why you started. Don't forget.
Well, these are just little rewards for hitting the benchmarks, hitting the milestones. These are just little milestones.
Yeah. But in my head, I was like, don't get carried away, bro. This is not why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Do you ever get into that?
Well, bro, that happened to me in 2014. So I got to this point where I'm living in a 4-bedroom villa with a private pool in Marbella, amazing car, hot wife, making 30 bags a month, profit. Didn't know what to do with it. And I stopped. I had no sense of purpose anymore. That's all goals are for.
Yeah.
To give you inspiration.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To give you inspiration. And the moment you stop, you've got nothing to aim towards. It's like, bikes. If you stop pedaling a bike, what does it do? Falls over.
Yeah.
So the bike's got to have forward motion. Humans, we need something to aim for. Because if we're not aiming for something, it's like having a blindfold on and we just keep going around in circles because we don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
So we focus on what we don't like. We focus on bits of our lives that aren't working. We focus on the past. We've got nothing to move towards. We just fucking fall over. That's most people. They've got no sense of purpose other than to get to Friday night. That's the only sense of purpose. Or the 2 weeks in Turkey. You know what I mean? Where they'll also be drunk. That was me. I just had no sense of purpose, and I'd forgotten. And again, my mission changes all the time.
Yeah.
And then so I can take a 3-year mission and make it a 12-month mission. All right, what's my mission today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that happens a lot of the time. But yeah, I've taken my eye off the ball, and that was my biggest problem. And it's not always about having more. I think often what I love so much about goal setting, it's not about what you get. It's about who you have to become to get there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who I have to become on the journey to get that thing. I'm like, fucking hell, if I'm to do that, I've got to be fitter. I'm going to have to be a fitter guy. I'm going to be the more composed guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about who you have to become. And also, yeah, I think that's it. It's nice to have nice things, and I love nice things. But what I think's more important is who I have to become, what skills I need to get there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's what personal development is, not about the stuff's just a nice little reward on the way.
I've just got my phone out because I put a story thing up.
All right, sweet.
To ask you some questions.
All right, let's do it.
Someone goes,
is it any about mash or cheesecake?
a real legend.
Is that me mum?
No.
Is that Leslie?
No. What's this person? A real legend is dead. Sick of the wrong use of the word. The fuck does that mean? A real legend is dead.
So legends are. Fuck off.
Oh, fuck off.
Looking for a reason to be offended.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking for a reason to be.
Same example.
Same man's probably on the Molly May thread giving a shit.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even read into what that was. I made a post about it, but.
I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen the clip in particular, and I'm like, thousands of men have said that. That's the first thing I thought. Thousands of men have said that exact same thing.
Is it? You know
people
what?
like her, people are sitting waiting for her to fuck up.
Yeah.
Or say something a little bit.
I looked at how old she was. She's 21 or 22. Successful.
Dude, I seen something the other day, people giving James Corden shit, because the headline of the newspaper said, an inside look at the £7 million house where James Corden's isolating.
Yeah.
The comments on it were like, what's wrong with people? It's like they're waiting to tear people down. But those are the same people that I was talking about who are sitting in the arena, sitting in the stands, watching life pass them by, spectating other people. So the only way they can feel significant is by giving other people shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, yeah.
Yeah. Handle your own shit before you start giving other people shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's easier though, isn't it? It's easier to criticize than it is to create.
100%.
Yeah.
What is his top 3 things to do for himself?
Ooh. Journaling.
Yeah?
Journaling is my non-negotiable. And I get asked about it all the time. Journaling for me has to be a prompted experience. So I have a series of questions that I ask myself.
What does that mean?
Prompted is I answer questions. I don't have a blank page. There's no blank page where I'm writing Dear Diary. I'm not doing that.
Who creates the questions?
Me.
Nice.
Master Coach of the Year, 2 years running, innit? So I know what world-class questions look like.
Okay.
So my questions are things like, how do I want to feel today? What's my number one priority? Who's somebody that I could impact in a positive way today? Who needs me to show up? Questions like, who do I need to follow up with to get a deal done? What might challenge me today and how would I handle it? So I do that in the morning, then I journal on the night. What was the best part of my day today? Who's somebody that I had a positive impact on today? What could I have handled better? How will I handle it better next time?
Yeah.
So this is prompted journaling for me. It's questions that are steering wheel of the mind.
Yeah.
So I want to steer, my questions are always steering me to empowerment and learning. Journaling's one. Second one would be ice bath. That's my new. That has sped up this long COVID recovery faster than anything else.
Really?
Yeah. Faster than anything else.
People are crazy about this ice bath now. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I've done a cold shower thing for years now.
Yeah.
And I looked into it because of this anxiety challenge I was having. What's the first thing you do when you're anxious?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get in a cold shower. So the third thing would probably be meditation. Meditation.
My guy.
Probably. I would say jiu-jitsu, but my body can't handle daily.
Well, I think, when meditation stuff, I think I haven't been posting about it lately or doing stuff on my stories about it.
How many times can you, it's a hard thing to keep talking about,
I actually want to really know more in depth about stuff before I want to talk about it. So initially when I do stuff like that, it's to inspire people.
I've got a guest for you that'll blow your head off.
I've actually just booked one.
Have you?
Yeah, but I want to know who that person is.
This guy Arjuna, who was my meditation coach, he's a monk.
Oh, sick.
He's from New Zealand.
Sick.
He's amazing.
All right, cool. I want to hit you up about that. I want to hit you up about that. But meditation, and anyone listening about meditation, there's many forms of meditation. It doesn't have to be there.
It's one of the things that I feel like it needs a different name now. So I have a program that I actually give away for free. It's called Meditation for People That Can't Meditate. No apps, no music, just literally timer on your watch.
Yeah.
Don't have to empty your mind. You just use these little mantras and me and Lucy Lord talked about it actually. I think she did TM.
Yeah.
Transcendental meditation where you just have a mantra.
Yeah.
I just have 4 mantras.
Yeah.
Easy. Simple. Doesn't need to be hard.
I think it's because a lot of people are putting not a bad name to meditation. It's just they're over-exaggerating what meditation is. Walking and not listening to anything is meditation.
Jiu-jitsu is meditation, bro.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Is he single?
Fuck me. Listen, not for 24 years. That's a bit mad, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's mad. You must think that's mad, you. 24 years.
Yeah.
It's
You
mad,
start your
innit?
morning with ice baths. I'll start with something.
Who said I don't?
My left hand.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you a mad. Are you ready for a mad story?
Uh-oh.
It's rude.
Wait, hold on.
Are you ready for
Is
this?
Matt's going to be listening to this?
Oh, it's fine. He was there. So, well, kind of. Listen to this. Actually, him and his mate was there as well. So listen to this.
Okay.
So I do this ice bath thing, right? This, I can't believe it. Leslie will crucify me for telling you this story.
Yes, then say it.
So I've had this ice bath, right? And obviously, you shrimp up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Proper shrimp up. And I go in a shower, and you know, sometimes when are you circumcised?
Of course.
Okay, so if you won't know this then.
No.
So guys listening will understand. So pull me foreskin back to give it a little wash, right? Get the cheese off and shit, right? Check this out. It gets stuck. My foreskin gets stuck.
What?
Because of the change from a temperature. So it gets stuck. I'm like, shit, I can't get it back over. Leslie, come here. She's like, what do you want me to do? So I was like, shit, I don't know. Nina's knocking on the bathroom door. Dad, are you okay? Are you okay? I can't let her in. So yeah, so don't ever go out with the ice bath, then go in the shower and pull your foreskin back. There you go. Dude, I was worried because I couldn't get it back, so I had to lube it up.
Or convert and get circumcised.
It's not for me, they're too sensitive. Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
I always say guys that are not circumcised, it's like wearing a bomber jacket, and if you are circumcised, it's like wearing a suit.
I love it. Yeah. I bet it's less messy when you're circumcised, when you have a piss.
Just looks fresh, innit?
Yeah, fresh.
Big man, that was a great part. That was fun.
That was fun. I'll tell you what we haven't talked about.
Go on.
We haven't talked about, and I think we should.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's do it.
Right now it's January.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I'm interviewing you.
No, do it. Yeah, do your
I
thing.
think we need to discuss how people can stay on track.
With what? Anything?
Anything.
Yeah.
Dude, it's all the same. Diet, same, exercise, meditation,
I
mental
agree.
health, relationships, business. Because everyone right now has a plan.
Yeah.
Everyone's working towards goals. I think most people listening to this are interested in personal development and doing better.
100%.
Living a more positive, empowered life.
Yeah.
And I think that now
It's a good time.
the time where people will start going back to default. So I just think this is a great thing to talk about. Like, what are you doing with your clients, right?
Okay.
Is this my podcast?
No, it's good. I'll start and then I want you to.
What are you talking to your clients about staying with it?
I think I'll tell you what I say to my clients, but I think majority of people that are willing to make a change, first of all, need to understand that you need to change something, right? The other thing is, I think a lot of the time people do the wrong plans. They do the plans they think that would be cool doing. For example, I want to train 5 days a week doing this many lifts and this many that.
So they're going from 0 to 100.
Darling.
They're trying to skip 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour and go straight to 100.
You haven't even done one gym session in the last 6 weeks. You're telling me you're going to go to 5 gym sessions and you're going to keep it consistent over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I remember having this conversation on my client call yesterday when someone told me they trained 8 times this week. I said, everyone on the Zoom call, raise your hand if you're an Olympic athlete. No? I fucking thought so.
Yeah.
Why are you training 8 times a week?
It's a funny thing, innit? Because
It's
you think
crazy.
it's positive, it's motivational, but you can't keep that up.
You can't keep that up.
Nah.
And you need to be, and like, as a coach, you need to be real with the people that you work with so you can make an impact.
Bro, I did this last week,
Yeah,
last
go on.
Monday was I think it was the 11th. And I remember specifically, actually it was the Tuesday, I woke up and I was fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
On a Monday night, I had a hard jiu-jitsu session. I had a busy all day. And I think it's keenness. It's keen.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just keen. And I was like,
Comes from a good place.
I'd set these targets on the flight back from Dubai. I set my 3-year, I worked on my 3-year vision, my 12-month goals, my 90-day goals, my 7-day goals. And I tried to, this is mad. I try to, and again, I'm an energized guy. I'm a passionate guy. I'm fucking excited. I'm electrified by my targets. And I've looked at it and I'm like, I've tried to pull off 365 days of goals in 11 days. Someone said to me, you're not fucking around with these goals, are you? And then on the Tuesday, I was like, I blew my load too early.
Yeah.
I've shot my load too early.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So I just had to step back and be like, right, the plan is, I've clearly tried to cram too much in too fast. So I just took a step back and I asked myself 2 questions. What would be possible if I give myself a little bit more time? And that second one, who can help me with this? Who can help me? So I went from, I was going to go to a BJJ class and I did a private instead, because then I wouldn't have got sucked into really hard sparring at the end.
Yeah.
So I booked a private instead, and then I moved some things back in my plan. I took that, I just adjusted my plan a little bit. Instead of trying to force myself to stick to it, I was like, the year, which we're all working on year-long goals, is 365 days long, not fucking 11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's one of the biggest things, is that we got to look at a plan a little bit.
Plan, as well as just invest in someone that you know you're going to connect with.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Don't get around people. Like, this is why, if I was a guy that was training in the gym, I'd join a CrossFit place or a place that does group training. Because being around those people that are on and trying to do it on your own, the lone wolf, I've got this saying, right? Men love being a lone wolf.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. The lone wolf's the one that fucking starves. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that starves. Look, there's no such thing as a self-made man.
Yeah.
I say to people all the time, you got to get around that.
Yeah.
You've got to get around that tribe. You've got to get around those people who are also striving, who are on the mission.
There's a time and a place where you do things on your own.
Yeah, of course
but
it
you
is.
need to reconnect.
Yeah, like none of these people are going to do the work for you.
Exactly, yeah.
But being on the same mission of them, being around people that are excited about life is fucking intoxicating.
Yes.
Like, it is fucking, I say that anxiety is not contagious. Being around anxious people all the time is, you'll start to feel anxious. However, being around people that are excited about life, there's just, it's fucking, it's like being plugged into something.
It's empowering, yeah.
It's unbelievably empowering. You're never
is.
drained in a room full of excited people.
No, never.
You keep looking out there, what are you looking at?
No, I saw some people, I think they're waiting for us to finish. But they can wait. They can wait.
Yeah.
Big
What
man
else
can
have you
wait.
got on not falling off the wagon, on staying on track?
What's that?
What else are you saying?
Oh, of not falling off track.
Yeah. So we looked at the plan.
The plans. The other thing is the whole motivation thing for me, right? Everyone's like, what's going to motivate me? And you're right about what you said earlier about doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things as well is just taking action and doing it, you know? And I always give an example of, for example, if you don't turn up for work, you're not going to get paid, right?
Yeah.
If people don't turn up for work, they're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
If you don't turn up to do your workout, if you don't turn up to take action with the things that you need to do to accomplish whatever that specific goal is, you're never going to hit that goal.
I think you sometimes show up and do the warm-up. Just do the warm-up.
Yeah.
Do it. And people think they need motivation. I'm like, what if you just did it with no motivation?
Yeah.
What if you just did it without motivation?
So it needs to...
You can, can't you?
It needs
you can
to
do it without
transform.
motivation.
Yeah.
You can do things. People are like, oh, I need more confidence to do it. I'm like, the confidence doesn't come before.
Yeah.
The confidence comes after, not before, after. So you have to do some things while you're scared.
Yeah.
You have to do some things with discomfort. You have to do some things with no confidence. You have to do some things without motivation. It's fine. Just do it anyway.
And if you notice, majority of the things that you do that make you nervous is always usually the right thing to do.
Well, that's where the growth is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get bigger muscles by lifting light weights that are too light.
You got to hit that intensity.
You don't get stronger by lifting lighter weights. You get stronger by lifting heavier weights. And guess what that is? Always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get stronger by just doing workouts with the same weight all the time. You do it by lifting weights that you're not sure whether you can.
You know what? I must have said this before on Instagram story or something. See if you agree with this. Is you know how you have to overload with intensity to grow muscle?
Yes.
Right? You need to tear up those little muscle fibers to grow bigger and stronger ones so they're more robust
And
for
it
the
hurts
activity,
sometimes.
and for the activity that you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with your brain.
Of course it is.
When you have pressure, when people complain, oh, I've got so much pressure, I've got so much
All pressure is self-created for a start, by the way.
Right?
Yeah, all stress is self-created. It's unmet expectations, yeah. But
So you can turn that pressure, you will grow from mental pressure as
course.
just like you do
of course, yeah.
from
Yeah.
physical
They call
pressure.
that's what they'd call your comfort zone. Your comfort zone's a mental construct.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you stay in your comfort zone, I've talked about this with Smith loads of times, if you stay comfortable, you end up uncomfortable anyway.
Yeah.
So you may as well, and I love this saying, you may as well seek out challenge that inspires you, because if you don't, you'll attract challenge that doesn't.
Yeah.
You'll attract discomfort that drains you,
Yeah.
but you can go after discomfort that energizes you and inspires you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I do. That's why I live my life like that. I'm like, oh, what's the next thing I can get uncomfortable doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if I did it, this is what happened to me in Marbella. I stopped doing that. I ended up uncomfortable anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ended up with challenge anyway. I ended up with pressure anyway.
Yeah.
Just, it was, I attracted it rather than seeking it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you roll, again, I love a jiu-jitsu analogy. If you roll them with a white belt, you're going to end up with it, to stay comfortable, you're going to end up with a discomfort if you probably end up out of shape. you'll end up with the discomfort of not getting any better.
You know what? I'm thinking about all that. I think this is why I'm really good with people, because I don't hold back with conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
You can be black, white, rich, poor, whoever you are. I will just
Northern.
the most uncomfortable conversations. I like diving into those things.
Yeah.
And that's where the growth is in people and understanding people.
And this is why sometimes on those Instagram Q&As I hold back a little bit, because I'm like, I'd love to coach you on this.
Yeah.
I'd love to ask you. One of my favorite questions is, someone will come at me with a challenge or a problem or something they need to resolve, and I'll be like, what are you doing that's stopping you from resolving that? People don't like that question because it forces them to take responsibility.
Yeah.
What are you doing that's contributing to this? So they'll talk about people. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Because in a relationship, it's a two-person thing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing that's preventing this? Because I can't do anything about them, but what I can do is change how you feel about that or how you behave. A lot of people don't want to hear that. Yeah, it's too easy to blame other people for how you feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go, bro.
That was class.
It's cool.
I fucking really enjoyed that.
I did too.
That's going to bang.
Good conversation.
That's going to bang.
Yeah.
They know where to find you, but you tell them, sir.
The best place to go is Apple Books, because they're doing a special offer on promos. They're like, no, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, paulmort.uk. Yeah. Do you know what comes up when you Google my name a lot of the time? Remember that Paul Walker of Fast and the Furious? When he died. Well, Mort means dead in French, or death in French. So he'll often come up on like page 2 and 3 of Google when you put my name in, yeah. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to find me somewhere and give me a follow. And
yeah, you'll find me. And yeah, look into what Mr. Paul Mort's doing for sure, 100%. And I hope this, I know this gave you value, bruv.
Yeah.
Subscribe, share with your friends and family. Thank you for listening. It's the first podcast back after a little while.
Come on.
There's going to be more coming. Take it easy. Peace and love. Bang.
Adios, hombres.
Ciao.